Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching for the first time. Click the notification bell and like our videos, and I also want to thank those who support our channel. It is reported that the retired President Uhuru Kenyatta was aware that goons were going to invade their family Northland farm in Ruiru in Kiambu County. One of his bloggers, Mr. Wahome Dhuku, is saying that Uhuru Kenyatta had gotten an intel on Saturday, and so he knew very well what was going to happen. The question is this: if the former president was well aware that goons had been planned and that they were planning to invade his farm, why was he silent? Why didn't he take action? And that is the question that Mr. Wahome Dhuku is trying to answer in a tweet. Let me begin by reading what is reported: that retired President Uhuru Kenyatta was reportedly aware that intruders would invade his family's Northland farm in Ruiru, Kiambu County. According to one of his bloggers, Wahome Dhuku, Uhuru received information about the intrusion days ago. Dhuku claims Uhuru opted not to act. This is what Dhuku is saying. Uhuru knew about the intended raid since Saturday. He allowed it to go on uninterrupted to bring out the real face of the annex nude. Basically, Wahome Dhuku is trying to say that Uhuru Kenyatta wanted Kenyans and the international community and the whole world to know what the Kenya Kwanza administration is all about. He wanted to remove their clothes, so that they can remain naked, so that the whole world can understand what William Samoei Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, Kimani Ichung'wah, Ndindi Nyoro, and all these people are meant to be. The software. Because the hardware that they have been giving us is that of people who go to church and pray every day with their M-Pesa bishops. Uhuru Kenyatta wanted the whole world to see now the software. People who chair meetings with goons to intrude into private property. People who touch churches and they touch mosques to ensure that people fight. I don't know whether you agree with Uhuru Kenyatta, because it has been reported that in that raid they lost over 70 million shillings. Because they took away the sheep and whatever is reared in that farm. They were selling, the photos and videos are showing those youths, those goons, selling them to passers-by, and it was reported that they were selling them as low as, 1,000 Kenyan shillings. Do you believe Uhuru did the right thing? Personally, if I were Uhuru Kenyatta, I would have done something, because they have lost a lot. I remember sometimes back, Uhuru Kenyatta had warned this country against electing President William Samoei Ruto. They had worked together for 10 years. So if there is someone who understands William Samoei Ruto, it is Uhuru Kenyatta. You see, they say that if a crocodile tells you that a hippopotamus is sick, then you better believe the crocodile, because they both live in water. If the former president told you that he had some reservations about electing President William Samoei Ruto, they had worked together and he knew who President William Ruto is. I remember sometimes when Uhuru was saying that the cost of living was high because of the war between Ukraine and Russia, William Ruto came out and said that these were not true. And he blamed Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga as the duo who are responsible for the hard economic times. And Uhuru Kenyatta gave us subsidies on fuel, subsidies on flour, maize flour, subsidies on electricity. After the corona pandemic, Uhuru Kenyatta was acting on an intelligence report, because youths had lost jobs and he had kazi kwa vijana, and he decided to reduce even the school fees. I remember at some point they came up with the governor of the central bank I don't know, it's called Juguna or something, and they gave us measures to cushion against the corona pandemic. Even charges for sending M-Pesa were all abandoned for a period of time. If you ask me if there is a president that loved this country, it was Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Uhuru could not bow down to pressure from the international community, from the IMF. Even the GMO, genetically modified organisms, Uhuru refused. He had a ban on it because he knew very well that Kenyans cannot start consuming something that is only meant to create a market for the American farmers, that is meant to kill our natural crops. So Uhuru Kenyatta had the best interest of Kenyans in his heart. But William Samoei Ruto, armed with a lot of lies, went on the streets and he convinced the hustlers. He told them that his government was going to include the hustlers. And he accused the former president and the former prime minister that they wanted to expand the executive so that they could create positions for the dynasties. Today, when you look at what William Samoei Ruto was saying, they have a chief minister, something that is not in the constitution. They have expanded that executive. He rewarded his cronies. Recently, he even created those posts of the chief administrative secretaries, and he appointed his people. There was no even one hustler. People have been joking that the hustlers were Millicent Omanga, who is the Mama Mboga there, and the Boda Boda man is Evans Kidero. That is the joke that is going on. So everything that William Samoei Ruto promised his people, promised Kenyans, have not been fulfilled, even one. The doctors were promised increment of salary. That has not been done. The police was promised the increment of salary. That has not been done. He had several treaties with the teachers, with several rights groups. That has not been done. But when Uhuru Kenyatta was telling Kenyans that they had worked together and he knew very well the kind of man he was working with, people doubted him. There was a lot of onslaught. The headquarters of chiding and attacking Uhuru Kenyatta was in Mount Kenya. Today, they see the result. The only thing that still shocks me is that there are youths who are still being used to demonize Uhuru Kenyatta, to go and invade his property. Yet we can see people are hungry. Uhuru Kenyatta, according to Wahome Dhuku, wanted to expose this government. Remember recently, they came out telling people that the Azimio fraternity wanted to kill businesses in Nairobi, to interfere and invade property. But now, after juxtaposing their intent, we realize that the Azimio rallies were very peaceful. It is the Kenya Kwanza team with their hired goons that torched Uhuru Farm, stoned Raila's company. They torched a mosque in Kibra, torched a church. They wanted people to fight. They were yielding machetes everywhere. No wonder our deputy president went to work very early in the morning at 5, quarter past 5, because he knew he had arranged everything and he wanted to see. He was from his comfort, from the comforts of his office. He wanted to see how things transpire. I want to say this. If there is one person who helped Kenyans, it is that whistleblower who told Raila Odinga that goons were being planted to go and invade their rallies to kill people. It would have been worse. And that is why they had to vent their anger on their property, because the main aim was to kill people in those rallies. The main aim was to put on those Azimio uniforms, the MDD, so that they can kill people. But this was thwarted. Ladies and gentlemen, do you think Uhuru Kenyatta exposed this government by allowing them to invade his farm, to take away the animals, to torch? Do you think Uhuru Kenyatta succeeded? Because the international media aired this, the local media aired this, and I dare say that the reason why the Kenya Kwanza team wanted to guard the media is because they had planned all these atrocities. They wanted to kill people, they wanted to torch businesses, and they didn't want the media to expose this. No wonder Ezra Chiloba was threatening them with a letter. Thanks to our courts that decided that the local media must expose what is happening in our country. From where I sit, well, I have mixed feelings. He wouldn't have allowed his farm to go to that loss to the tune of 70 million. But at the same time, we have now known that this administration is full of vengeance. I think more is still to come. All that was promised was a mere campaign gimmick. And until such a time when Kenyans will realize that they were hoodwinked, they will continue to be deluded. That is my take, ladies and gentlemen.